Okay.
Okay, so local familiar faces I haven't seen you. So my name is Nina Snow-Miller. I'm one of the senior lecturers from University of Applied Sciences.
Do you need translation? ¿Necesitas traducción? Sí, ¿verdad? Sí. La maestra Nina Snow-Miller viene de la Universidad de Ciencias Aplicadas de Tampere y nos va a estar dando este taller.
But I think the reason for me being here is that I've been involved with a lot of EU applications, writing and submitting them.
La razón de que ella está aquí es porque ella ha estado involucrada en muchas solicitudes de proyectos con Erasmus Plus. Nos consta, ellos son la Universidad de Tampere, Finlandia, muy activa en bajar proyectos de Erasmus.
Okay, let's talk about a little bit of our experiences on how what we have learned. We are still learning.
Para compartir las experiencias que ellos han tenido con los proyectos Erasmus Plus, que siguen aprendiendo.
Yeah, and also some of the basics that what it means when you apply to an EU project and what you need to consider and when.
Los puntos básicos que se tienen que considerar cuando se envían proyectos Erasmus Plus. Doesn't work, you can just do the arrow keys.
So how to start? That's what everybody is thinking when they consider applying for funding.
¿Cómo empezar? Es lo que todos pensamos cuando queremos solicitar fondos y otros.
Everything starts with a good idea. What is your project idea? And can you find a right call, right funding instrument matching your idea?
Empieza con una buena idea para el proyecto y tenemos que identificar la convocatoria correcta.
And basically, it means that even if your idea is really good, but the calls open in EU are not really focusing on that area, you have to consider, should you apply this year or work with your idea continuously and then wait for the next call?
A veces la idea es muy buena, pero los temas que están en la convocatoria no se acomodan a la idea que tenemos y ahí hay que decidir si continuamos mejorando la idea y nos esperamos a la temática de la siguiente convocatoria o sometemos un proyecto.
We do have an experience of this. We submitted, we twisted our idea to match the call specifics. We got rejected.
Exacto. Han tenido experiencias en donde han forzado la idea que se tiene para que encaje en los temas de la convocatoria y han sido rechazados.
And the next one, it was fitting perfectly, we got the grant.
Exactamente. Y en la siguiente llamada a la convocatoria encajaba perfectamente y se obtuvo el financiamiento.
Another really good idea is to study EU instruments. What does EU have to offer? And also to study, I would say these two, the EU policies. They have their Green Deal, they have inclusiveness initiatives, and they also have some special needs, cross-cutting themes. This kind of specific focus points which they expect applicants to know about.
Buen tip es estudiar cuáles son los temas que la Unión Europea le interesan, cuáles son las políticas que están vigentes. Por ejemplo, el tema verde, de medio ambiente, el tema de inclusión, necesidades especiales, temas multidisciplinarios son los que actualmente le interesan a la política internacional de la Unión Europea. Hay que enfocarse en eso.
Those are kind of like cross-cutting themes, many of them, that you have to justify how you will consider these themes in your project.
Y se tiene que considerar cómo incluimos estos temas en nuestros proyectos.
And then, even this sounds funny, but it's really, really beneficial to study approved applications.
Puede ser muy útil estudiar las solicitudes que han sido aceptadas, pues, para ver cuáles han sido las estructuras de estas solicitudes.
And study the applications which have been accepted recently. Don't study our applications, for instance, in DigiCare, which was approved 2016. The demand, I mean, the expectations on the projects have been increased and enhanced. So recent ones.
Tiene que estudiar los proyectos aceptados recientemente, porque, por ejemplo, en el caso de DigiCare fue 2017, entonces los temas han ido cambiando.
This one, if you were all here this morning, you might have seen this, but I still wanted to take it in here, because this is the basics now at this point with Erasmus Plus capacity building for higher education instrument.
Ese es el punto en el que estamos ahorita para las convocatorias de capacity building, se llaman como de fortalecimiento de infraestructura de educación superior.
So smartness, when Smart Learners was applied and submitted, we didn't have strands. We only had one capacity building program. Strand like levels maybe, levels. Yeah.
Stages, etapas. Sí, esas son las tres etapas por las que se han abierto las convocatorias de capacity building. Etapa 1, etapa 2 y etapa 3, en donde la etapa 1 es fomentar el acceso a la educación superior. La segunda es colaboración para la transformación y la tercera es modificar proyectos estructurales.
And this really means that this is the lowest level, middle level, or a little bit different, but this is the highest level when we are aiming for something quite substantial. So strand 1, small scope project. Sometimes one good idea is enough, a little bit extended, of course, and it is really like lowly developed countries, focusing on lowly developed countries like some African countries or others which are defined in EU protocols. It's got the priority of newcomers. So if the country has never ever been involved in EU projects, they have a priority.
En la capa 1, el enfoque es en proyectos más pequeños y con universidades de países poco desarrollados y que nunca han participado en proyectos Erasmus.
And the grant, what you can get for the whole consortium, it's in between 200,000 to 400,000, and it depends on the EU when you are doing your grant preparation. Then they will assess what is the suitable budget.
El monto para este tipo de proyectos está entre 200,000 y 400,000 euros, pero la Unión Europea se reserva definir cuál es el monto adecuado para el proyecto.
So basically, you will write in application the budget. It's not guaranteed that the project will start with that budget. It will be assessed by the EU officers.
No propone el presupuesto, pero de todos modos la Unión Europea evalúa si ese es el proyecto, el presupuesto que se va a proponer.
And the strand 2, this involves business enterprises. So something innovative. So this is like an innovation strand, a little bit larger scale project, of course, and it can have universities involved, but it must have some sort of a business innovation included and some governance bodies as well.
En la capa 2 se tiene que incluir aspectos de innovación de negocios y es para proyectos de más alto alcance.
And the grant here is substantially bigger already. If you get the highest amount, 800,000, then the project plan must be reflecting on that grant, and the innovation and the topic and the content must be something really to justify the budget for EU.
Por supuesto que el presupuesto aumenta para este tipo de proyectos en 1.800.000, pero el contenido del proyecto debe de justificar ese monto por parte de la Unión Europea, es decir, que incluya innovación.
So you won't get it for something which has been done many times already, but you might get it for a region where something is brand new and the need is very concrete.
No se obtendría si se proponen cosas que ya se han hecho, pero sí se puede obtener si en alguna región del mundo esa innovación que se ha aplicado.
And with the strand 3, you can see how capacity building for higher education has really raised the bar higher and higher in the past couple of years. Because this one now includes ministries. So ministries must be partners, not just associated partners, but partners. Because this one is focusing on truly reforming your educational structure in the country.
En la capa 3, la Unión Europea ha subido cada vez más el estándar para otorgar el financiamiento, en el sentido de que aquí tendrían que estar involucrados ministerios educativos del país, no solo como asociados, sino como partners.
So what they expect is true sustainability, national ownership of those countries who are partnering, and effective policy making, so that the policies which are changing the educational structures or curriculums are effectively in place. If not during the project period, but at least there is a guaranteed that the change will be done.
Lo que se espera entonces son reformas estructurales y el enfoque es que sean sostenibles los resultados de estos proyectos, que las propuestas incluyan políticas sociales para garantizar los resultados, o al menos tratar de garantizar los resultados.
And the budget is up to 1 million for the whole consortium. And also something I find really a good change from the previous program is that the duration has been increased to 4 years. Because when you are trying to change the policies we all know it's slow motion sometimes, and it takes time to convince that the project outcomes and products are so good that everybody wants to take them into the consideration and change something based on the project.
En esta capa 3, el financiamiento es hasta €1 millón y lo que han modificado es que la duración es más larga, porque se entiende que el efecto de las políticas sociales toma más tiempo para ver ese efecto. Entonces, hasta 48 meses puede ser la duración de estos proyectos.
Not usable this one this year. Anyway, it's really important to know what the capacity building for higher education is focusing. And it always focuses on curriculum development activities. How can we improve the curricula in different countries?
Se tiene que tener en cuenta en qué se está enfocando la convocatoria de fortalecimiento de infraestructura. Siempre está el tema de desarrollo curricular.
Of course, when you are changing your curriculum, it's time to think about your educational systems. Can we do something more effectively? Are we updated? Is the thing what the content we are teaching matching with the future expectations, not present or history only?
También se tiene que tener en cuenta que si lo que se está incluyendo en el proyecto incluye el futuro de las tendencias educativas y no nada más lo que se está impartiendo en el presente.
And also, when you think about the change of capacity building structure, we have involved the business enterprises and ministries, and of course, the new capacity buildings are also strengthening the collaboration with the economy, collaboration with the working life, so that they can continue developing it together.
Interesante que se busca que los ministerios de economía y los ministerios educativos colaboren entre sí para que las reformas estructurales tengan un impacto más largo, una duración más amplia.
So there are partnership programs and there are structural programs. Most of the Erasmus capacity building higher education programs are partnership programs. So we are together developing systems.
Los proyectos de fortalecimiento de la infraestructura son de partnership o de colaboración o proyectos estructurales. O sea, la mayoría en los que hemos trabajado son proyectos de colaboración.
And also when the new project period started, they sort of like made us happy to change the names of the partners and so on. The EU does this at times, which is confusing. So now program countries are not called program countries anymore. We are called member states.
Okay. La Unión Europea a veces cambia su propia terminología. Los estados europeos ahora se llaman estados miembros, member states.
And if you are running a capacity building program, you need at least 2 member states as in your consortium.
Se requieren por lo menos 2 estados miembros para poder someter un proyecto de fortalecimiento de la infraestructura, 2 países europeos.
And each member state must have at least 1 higher education institution involved.
Cada uno de los países miembros debe tener por lo menos una institución educativa.
Like in SmartNurse, we have Finland and Slovenia as member states, and we have 1 school from each country. That's the basic rule.
En el caso de SmartNurse, hay 2 países miembros, Eslovenia y Finlandia, y cada uno de los dos países tiene una universidad, institución de educación superior participada.
And then two non-associated third countries. This is the minimum. So these two member states and two associate countries is the minimum structure in capacity buildings. And each non-associated third country must have at least two higher education institutions included.
Y lo mínimo que se requiere, además, para los países no asociados a la Unión Europea, que sean dos, y por lo menos dos instituciones educativas en cada uno de los países.
And when this is called minimum,
Exacto, eso es lo mínimo, pero it can be.
Yes, this can be more than that. And from my perspective and from Tom's perspective, we usually have more than the minimum. Because then if somebody for any reason decides or is forced to withdraw from the project maintains eligible.
De la experiencia de la Universidad de Finlandia, no es recomendable utilizar el mínimo de instituciones. Ellos siempre han involucrado a más instituciones, no miembros, por el caso de que alguna institución decida salirse del proyecto, y eso no afecta mucho la solicitud.
Just think about smartness being non-eligible after 2.5 years of work, and then suddenly all is discontinued.
Exacto. Imaginen que después de dos años trabajando en el proyecto, se salen algunas instituciones y deja de ser elegible el proyecto y se desperdicia el trabajo.
So it's a real threat, and this is what we are trying to avoid by employing more than only one.
¿Cómo se seleccionan estos países no miembros y miembros? How do you select these members and non-members countries?
We take nice ones.
Seleccionan a los más bonitos.
No, I will get back to this a little bit later when I explain a little bit more about the consortium. So then we can discuss. It's okay. Just 2 more minutes and then we.
Más adelante se va.
It's a very good question, by the way, and we are always considering it carefully.
Es una excelente pregunta y ellos siempre lo están considerando con mucho cuidado.
And one thing everybody needs to know when they start capacity building project is that it is based on co-funding principle, which means that the grant is not 100% coverage.
Basan el principio de cofinanciamiento. Esto quiere decir que el financiamiento no cubre el 100% de lo que se otorga.
So the institution who is either the partner or the program country, like in previously, must be aware that they have to invest their own money into the project.
Los participantes tienen que estar conscientes de que tienen que invertir una parte de su propio dinero, el principio de cofinanciamiento.
So the most of the things will be covered by the grant, but then rest of the work, for instance, and whatever cost is generated will be covered by the university. And because now the new program period is somehow easing up the management issues, they think that the grant covers 90% and co-funding 10%. But I dare to challenge that. We will see in 10 years whether it's true or not.
El financiamiento cubre casi todos los gastos de los proyectos, pero el razonamiento de la Unión Europea es que aproximadamente un 10% corresponde a temas administrativos. Esa es la presunción de la Unión Europea, pero dice Nina que en 10 años tal vez esto sea diferente.
It depends on the salary, the salaries of the teachers. It depends on so many different things that it's very difficult to estimate what is the co-funding percentage in advance.
Depende de, por ejemplo, los salarios de los profesores y otros gastos administrativos, y esto hace muy complicado saber cuál es el porcentaje de financiamiento.
And the financing and financial management will be, or has been already shifted to lump sum system, so that we don't have different categories the same way as before, traveling cost and cost of stay and staff cost. They are all in a one lump sum, and the universities must manage their task and work and participation in meetings accordingly.
Can you explain the concept of lump sum?
Basically, it's like they will get, for instance, 20% of their own budget, and that 20% is not earmarked for traveling or cost of stay. It's only a lump sum for all of the activities ongoing.
Por ejemplo, que una suma global, un porcentaje global del presupuesto otorgado es absorbido por la universidad participante en forma de cofinanciamiento.
That is a big change.
No está etiquetado, es 20%.
So now, Araceli, your topic, one of my favorites, how to build up the consortium really.
¿Cómo crear los consorcios? Regresando a la pregunta de la doctora Araceli.
And you should start at least 1 year before the deadline.
Se debe empezar por lo menos un año antes de el deadline, de la fecha límite de la convocatoria. Un año antes.
And then you have to think, okay, where are the participants coming from? Who are they? Are you going to use the ones you know? Or are you going to invite them to the next projects?
Las preguntas que hay que hacerse un año antes es ¿de dónde son? Y vas a usar a los contactos que ya conoces.
We don't know if we use the same consortium, whether EU is looking at that in a less positive way than we inviting new partners and sort of further distributing EU collaboration.
No se sabe por anticipado si la Unión Europea va a ver bien o va a ver mal que haya nuevos participantes o sean los participantes de antes.
And also the geographic distribution is an important thing. So if you are in Latin America, you must think that how is the coverage? What are the partner countries? Are they next to each other or do we have a wider distribution?
Distribución geográfica es otro factor importante. Si en toda Latinoamérica vamos a dispersar a los países seleccionados, son países que están cerquita.
And another thing which is really important is to think that how many new partners, meaning how many new higher education institutions or non-associated third countries you will invite to one project. Because the more you have new partners, the more work the coordinator will have.
El número de participantes también es importante porque si invitas muchos países, el trabajo de coordinarlos es mayor.
So it's the matter of balancing. You might have same countries, or you can change one country, but then you don't want to change all of the partner institution at once. I've been there, done that, not a good idea.
No es una buena idea cambiar a todos los participantes de un país al mismo tiempo, ya les ha sucedido. Entonces, es un tema de balancear la cantidad de países participantes.
So the collaboration, to work together will start quicker when you know people already. We know Jenny, okay? We know easy to write to you that the next project you do this and that, are you fine with that? Instead of, hopefully this email finds you well. This is Nina from there and there. I'm addressing you because of this matter. You know what I mean?
Es más fácil, por supuesto, cuando ya se conoce a la universidad que se va a invitar, porque ya existe una cercanía, en lugar de, si es una institución nueva, se tiene que ser más formal, así que está cierto nivel.
And also when you know the institutions, you know what you can plan in your project. What kind of what kind of talents they have, what kind of expertise they have, it will be way easier to plan the work and the structure and the work packages of the new project when you know what you get.
Cuando se trabaja con universidades que ya se conocen, la universidad coordinadora ya conoce cuáles son sus fortalezas y se puede planear la solicitud con base en eso y acomodar en los distintos paquetes de trabajo de acuerdo a las habilidades de la universidad que ya se conoce.
And other kind of like a, not an advice, but the really good idea is to get involved with different networks, different EU networks. Go to LinkedIn, participate and start following EU capacity building LinkedIn account, because they will provide a lot of information as well. And you can participate or just follow the discussion in between different countries and different experts.
Otra recomendación es no trabajar por una sola red de colaboración, sino tal vez buscar otras redes europeas, quizás a través de LinkedIn, para ver cuál es la discusión que están teniendo estas otras redes y ver si se puede aportar.
And you might even find new partners via these platforms, or you can find them also in EU platform, that's for sure. But it's one way to unofficially, not so formally, get to know people beforehand.
Puede ser un buen mecanismo para extraoficialmente ir conociendo a otros partners, la forma en que trabajan y ver si se puede colaborar con ellos.
And really important is to organize enough online meetings before you start applying, before you start writing the application, so that you sort of like, you are kind of like feeling that what kind of institutions we are dealing with and who are the people working in them.
Otra recomendación es llevar a cabo un número suficiente de reuniones en línea con los posibles candidatos a participar para irlos conociendo.
So, what are the aims? When you start writing the application, you always have to somehow answer to the program aims. Otherwise, you will apply in a different way.
Eso es importante, se tiene que tener bien presentes cuáles son los objetivos de la Unión Europea y de los proyectos de fortalecimiento de estructura, porque si no nos alineamos con estos objetivos, simplemente la solicitud no va a ser así.
And I think we have actually addressed all of these topics here already. Modernizing the education on higher education institution and the challenges, basic challenges, what they... No, in this already, what we have spoken in this workshop already. We basically sidelined this already, haven't we? And it's really important that you find the challenge, proper need, and there is your starting point.
Como se ha discutido aquí, se tienen que tener en cuenta estos objetivos, la modernización, incrementar la cooperación con la Unión Europea, la convergencia voluntaria con el desarrollo de la educación superior, los objetivos de la Unión Europea, y promover el contacto persona con persona, el conocimiento intercultural, el conocimiento y comprensión del interculturalismo.
Luckily, these aims are quite general, they are quite comprehensive, so a lot of different ideas can fit among this.
Estos temas son lo suficientemente amplios, por lo que en las solicitudes de proyecto se puede incluir algo de estos temas.
All right, okay. Application process, what we have learned and what we are still learning. Let's start. I will just put these first here. So, like mentioned already, there must be a starting point, a need. A situation analysis must must proceed before we start building up the idea. So there's a proper need in that region to do something.
Al proceso de llenar la solicitud tiene que haber un punto de inicio y normalmente este punto de partida es un análisis de necesidades. ¿Qué es lo que se necesita?
And the partners, now I'm using the wrong word, I should use now the non-associated third countries, higher institutions, their voice should be heard in that application. We got very bad marks in one of our, if we got the money, but we got bad marks because they said that they cannot find the need was fine, but not the voice of the partners. Yeah.
Y es bien importante que los países partners, aunque ya no se le llama partners, se le llaman países no asociados,
Non-associated third countries.
Aunque se ha obtenido el financiamiento, han sido mal evaluados porque en los resultados no se ve la voz de los países participantes.
Like when we were applying for Smartness, we got so much input from all of your institutions and from Mexico and El Salvador. And we got really good marks for that because we were able to present, if the application was done in cooperation with the EU member states and the non-associated third countries. And this is what they are looking for. They want us to do a project which is really beneficial and has some impact on those countries it's aimed for.
Por ejemplo, en el proyecto Smart Goals se obtuvieron buenas puntuaciones y buenas evaluaciones que entre todos los países, México y El Salvador, participamos en ese proceso de needs analysis y era claro en la solicitud porque estábamos poniendo los demás I would say partners.
Yeah, it's easier. Let's call them partners. It's non-association. It'd be soon. Balkan countries and partners. Yeah, let's keep it. Well, about the application, it's when you start writing it, it's like a mountain to climb, and at times you feel that I have just explained this whole thing in some other part of the application, but they are looking for cohesion.
Exacto. El trabajo ya en sí de llenar las solicitudes es muy arduo y se puede tener la sensación de que, bueno, esto ya lo escribí en otro lado, ¿por qué no lo ven? Pero lo que ellos buscan es que la solicitud sea cohesiva.
So it must be compact. You cannot start rambling because there's a space which is limited, but it must be clear. Whoever is reading it must have an idea what you are planning to do. And then it must be consistent, like I said, the cohesion must be there. It needs to be realistic, but then it needs to be ambitious enough. And these are like, okay, if I'm promised to climb the Mount Everest by all of the program countries and partner countries, are we gonna succeed? No. And this is the sort of like what we are always balancing. Are we promising already too much with that money, or are we promising too little? And we won't get the grant.
Se tiene que lograr un balance bien complicado a la hora de escribir lo que se está solicitando. Por ejemplo, se tiene que ser realista, pero al mismo tiempo ambicioso. Es decir, el objetivo puede ser muy ambicioso, pero cómo llegar a ese objetivo tiene que ser realista para que sea aceptado.
So if we say we're going to change the education of all of the Mexican higher education institutions, we will never ever get that application through because everybody knows it's not possible.
Si se dice que se quiere cambiar el sistema educativo mexicano, que sean muy buenos deseos, es imposible.
And that's sometimes difficult. What to promise, and how to make it, how to write it in a way that you are promising something that is concrete enough, but you are not shooting your own leg. So that if some changing happens in the world, you cannot provide any of those outputs what you have written in the application.
Es importante solicitar algo que sea realizable, aunque sea ambicioso, que sea realizable, porque si cambia el entorno, podemos dispararnos en el pie, ya no lo podemos lograr.
This is the reason why by many of times we don't write that we promise to write 10 impact factor scientific articles, because it's a huge task to do. And if you don't achieve that, you are not in a good position when being evaluated.
Por ejemplo, si se promete que se van a escribir 10 artículos científicos de alto impacto, y si no lo logramos, entonces no tenemos problemas.
So you write concrete actions, you write concrete tasks, because these are not clear scientific research projects. These are development projects. We are collaborating and developing something together. It involves and includes scientific research as well, but it's not purely only for that.
Es importante tener en cuenta que estos no son proyectos científicos, son proyectos de desarrollo. Sí se puede prometer artículos científicos, pero es como un subproducto de. El enfoque no es investigación científica. No es la finalidad. Puede ser un subproducto, pero the goal is development.
The goal is development and changing and modernizing and collaborating more with the others. And of course, you need scientific results to evaluate how you have succeeded. But it's not only that.
Es el desarrollo.
So you need time for writing, and you need it way more than you think. I need still way more than I think. I have this time optimism sickness. I think I have 72 hours in my day. I don't.
Se requiere reservar tiempo para escribir la solicitud. Sí, quita mucho tiempo, y dice Nina que es muy optimista. Su manejo del tiempo, cree que los días tienen 72 días de horas, pero no es cierto.
Then you need comments. You need comments from your partners. You need comments from your other program countries, that so you get blinded on your own text. You think you are writing something excellent. When you sleep a couple of nights and you read your own text, you are thinking, my God, what was I thinking? How on earth did I write something so stupid?
Es importante la retroalimentación de los partners. Quizás en un inicio se cree que se está escribiendo algo muy excelente, muy bonito, pero al obtener la retroalimentación y volver a leer el texto, cambia completamente.
Yeah. So it's an iterative process that it needs the whole consortium. So you need time for that, commenting and editing and rewriting. It takes a lot of time because you have to follow this Green Deal and so on and so on. It must reflect on the EU policies and the special needs, and then it must reflect on your tasks, on your outcomes. So the cohesion of the application must be solid. So you cannot expect to have something outcome or task which is no way connected to anything explained in the beginning of the application.
Tiene que ser muy cohesiva la escritura del proyecto. Por ejemplo, lo que se escriba se tiene que reflejar en los resultados y en las salidas. Tiene que ser claro que en el texto las salidas que se están prometiendo están ahí implícitas y explícitas.
Another thing is, when you are writing the application, you have to be familiar with the evaluation criteria. What and how you are going to be evaluated, and what are the 4 evaluation criteria are like mentioned here. How relevant is your proposal, or is it yesterday's news? What is the quality of the project design and all those tasks you have created, and also what kind of partnership and cooperation arrangement you are creating, as well as what is the impact on the area where the project is focused on. And the impact is getting more and more important in EU applications.
Es importante tener en cuenta cuáles son los criterios de evaluación de las propuestas enviadas. Por ejemplo, que la propuesta sea relevante, que el diseño del proyecto sea de calidad, el diseño y la implementación que los partners participantes sean de calidad, así como los convenios, los arrangements, los convenios de cooperación y sobre todo el impacto tiene que ser visible como criterio de evaluación.
So now we're going to speed up a little bit so that you are not falling asleep and we need all of these brains when we start working together soon. One thing what everybody needs is ask for help. Ask help for your research and development and innovation department. Utilize your financial officers, their expertise, and also experienced application writers.
Okay, se ve más rápido. Es importante contar con el apoyo institucional, por ejemplo, del área de finanzas, y el compromiso institucional que esté presente a lo largo de la vida del proyecto.
So this is like, I found this in the museum, so application is not looking like this anymore, but it's equally detailed.
Esa foto es del Museo del Arte. Las solicitudes son igualmente detalladas.
So this is like a sort of like an overview of the project lifespan. When you think about that the implementation is only here, a lot of things are happening before. So the idea, finding instrument, the proper call, how you start the application preparation, and how, if you get accepted, what do you need to do with the grant preparation phase.
Se puede ser como el ciclo de vida de las etapas que tiene que seguirse antes de enviar la propuesta del proyecto, empezando desde la idea, desde tener en cuenta la convocatoria, desde la preparación del consorcio. Todo ese trabajo previo tiene que hacerse antes de enviar la convocatoria.
And projects are usually constructed by work packages. We have different work packages and different partners or program countries are leading those work packages. So we are distributing the responsibilities.
Los proyectos se dividen en paquetes de trabajo para que las responsabilidades del proyecto se dividan en estos paquetes de trabajo entre los partners.
When the grant preparation phase is finished and everybody is on the same page, they have agreed and they have signed the grant agreement, we can start the project implementation only then. So we have management, we have work package activities, different tasks, and already during the implementation, we have to start thinking about how are we going to sustain our project outcomes.
Solamente hasta el momento en que todos están en la misma página, los convenios de colaboración están claros, y hasta ese punto se tiene que pensar en cómo va a ser sostenible el proyecto.
And when the project ends, like Smart Nursing ending soon, we are facing the project evaluation phase. Like, how is the EU evaluating us? And it's really needed to think about future collaborations as well at this point, and how we sustain it in each country.
Por ejemplo, Smart Nurse está a punto de terminar y vamos a pasar a la fase de evaluación de los resultados del proyecto y qué tan sostenibles van a ser los resultados del proyecto. Parte de la evaluación.
So now, all of you here, soon you will be brainstorming in small groups together and providing the craziest ever ideas, what you think needs to be developed. But before that, you are not supposed to follow this or do the replica, but this will give you an idea what kind of activities the projects can have. So one example is in here, that you have the management work package.
Ejemplo, nos vamos a dividir en grupitos ahorita para trabajar y vamos a pensar en qué ideas pueden servir para nuevos proyectos, empezando por el análisis de necesidades. No necesariamente se debe seguir la estructura que utilizan ellos, pero aquí hay un ejemplo de un paquete de trabajo administrativo.
These are in every single project, so there's no need to figure out management issues today after this, but gives us proper ideas.
Todos los proyectos hay el componente de administración.
And then usually we are, as you know, we are developing something, but what could be developing? What would be the need you think that needs to be done differently?
Y siempre en los proyectos se tratan de desarrollar algo nuevo. Entonces hay que pensar qué es lo que se necesita para desarrollarse.
Yeah. You can do literature review, you can do all sorts of scientific work to sort of like have a foundation of your development work, and then start doing learning goals, describing methods, designing, planning, but what?
Para desarrollar esta nueva idea, se puede hacer una revisión de la literatura como un estado del arte para ver qué es lo más nuevo que se está haciendo y partir de ello.
And after this, I will quickly go through. So usually each project, they have whatever we develop, it needs to be tested. So we start testing maybe part of the developed issue or the whole thing, but we need to test it.
Se requiere probar y se requieren hacer pruebas.
So it can be very complicated, it can be a little bit easier, but the way you plan the testing, it is really reflecting on how much work and time you need to reserve.
This is, I'm sorry, this is part of the process of the development of the proposal, right? Not in the project.
Both basically, because you have to plan also when you are writing, you have to plan how to task and how much effort and how much manpower is needed for different activities.
Estas actividades pueden servir para planear la preparación del proyecto en sí.
And another kind of thing, I was responding to the final ones, and then you have to assess the quality. You have to plan that already in your application phase. How are you going to convince the EU evaluators that your project will be high quality?
Esto se tiene que tener en cuenta. Se trata de convencer al evaluador de la Unión Europea que nuestro proyecto contiene elementos de calidad y tenemos que demostrarles cómo vamos a medir nuestro propio avance, y ese es un elemento que ven ellos como de calidad.
So the capacity building project application can easily be 80 pages or 100 pages.
La propuesta puede ser fácilmente entre 80 y 100.
Then, of course, you have to think about the impact already in the application a lot, because that's what they want to know. What are you going to achieve with that? What's going to happen? What's going to change? And how are you going to disseminate? And 10 years ago, it was enough to say we're going to have a web page. Nowadays, no way. You need much more than that. So, and now when we start working together, think about the ways you get information and how would you like to know about new ideas? What would be the channel to really reach you?
Los evaluadores también necesitan ver ahí cuál va a ser el impacto del proyecto y además cómo se va a diseminar estos resultados. Hace 10 años era suficiente poner que íbamos a hacer una página web. Eso no era suficiente, pero ahora ya no lo es. Se tiene que pensar en otros medios de cómo se van a diseminar los resultados.
So, now let's start working. What I want to achieve now after this, that you have sort of an idea. What should be in a project? What kind of different phases project can have? But what is the most important thing is really the idea, how you can implement that idea, how you think that your focus group can be reached, and how the impact can be done.
So Anika's going to help me a little bit here, but 2 groups of 4 to 5 people. So gather together, 4 to 5 people, and we will give you a piece of paper. And what we need you to do, give us on the first round, we will do rounds here. So first round, give me 3 ideas. What would be the topic of the project? The crazier, the better. Think what needs to be changed and developed. So each group for 3.
How many?
3 ideas.
How many people?
4 to 5.
4 to 5. Grupos de 4 a 5 personas. Proponer ideas para un proyecto, mientras más locas mejor. Y Anuka va a ayudar para que anotemos estas ideas en papel. If I may,
Yeah. So
If I
we will
may.
change it.
if I may, we have students, so maybe better they mix exactly.
Now students mix with these teachers.
You have a nice
Si hay estudiantes y se pueden revolver, mezclar con la idea es pensar en ideas nuevas para posibles proyectos.
That's a good idea. Thanks.
It's a coincidence that we'll have a campus they asked me to talk about external finance because someone told that I had the experience. So if I can reuse some of your slides. They're already
It's easier when you can continue. And they are actually, I think they are increasing the instruments which can be used in Latin American countries. It was more than Well, the number of instruments at the school maybe, another side is also that people are more aware that you can get funding, so you have more applications than before. But what we go for is we never ever get funding. It's changing and it's evolving and more people are competing of the everybody.
That makes sense that they're changing the game each time. So
Just you're changing the name, so. That's right. When I say our students were like, sorry, I have been point.
they're nice. Okay, what's the cameraman?
I don't want to say it. Okay. Okay, good. Thank
Yeah. And
I said to our little colleagues that
just to scout basically potential.
oh, my gosh, that is some people can see this. See around. And when you're thinking about it now, it sounds good. 10,000 euros. And the things for some people don't realize it's really a lot of time. You feel like you're things in the evening. So it's a long time.
it's in the nature to be teaching. So it's just nature.
Okay.